Go.
Is this you? Oh man, I love Red Dead Redemption. It's so great on this big giant screen, but I wonder if it would be better and maybe my back wouldn't hurt as much. I've always wondered where I can hook this up to my TV. Well, aren't you happy you came to Mr. Dan126H channel? Let's show you how it's done. Okay, so why don't I go ahead and show you the equipment that you will be needing so you can go ahead and play your games on your couch comfortably and also leaving your PC at its desk. So if you do decide you want to go ahead and play games at your desk, you can with this method. It's way easier than having to lift it up and put it in your TV, which is the other one you can do. Some people do prefer that, but I prefer this method, so that way I can keep my desk as my desk. If I want to play games in there, if the missus wants to use the TV to play Pokemon, she can. So what do you need? What you need is, this is primarily a best setup for a controller, and the controller I recommend using because it comes with a dongle. Essentially, you want to use a controller that comes with a dongle. Everything in this tutorial, make sure your keyboard comes with a dongle, your mouse comes with a dongle, because if you use Bluetooth and you have your PC on the other end of the house, it gets way more complicated than it needs to be. This is the best method you can use. Now, what do I mean by that? So we've got here a blue Xbox controller. Now, this blue Xbox controller can be any Xbox, basically anything from the Xbox One S based controller all the way up to the Series controller. Even the Xbox One controllers work with this. You want to go ahead and pick up yourself the Xbox dongle here. So this Xbox dongle essentially ignores Bluetooth. It's actually a better reaction to this as well. You don't have to worry about any Bluetooth overhead. So you'll need these two things. You'll also need a USB hub with your dongles plugged into it. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug on the Xbox One. So we got here is a USB dongle. Other things you'll need, obviously, is a keyboard and mouse. I've got the Logitech one here, and I've got a Halo mouse. It's not the actual Halo mouse, which I'd love to get, which is this one I put up here. It's fucking cool. And the other things you'll need, of course, is a really long USB cable that obviously we would need to go ahead and connect to our dongles so we can get our peripherals to our TV. Now, the other part is the most important part. This part I had struggled for years with until I went out and bought an actual, it's expensive. These cables are not cheap. These really long fiber cables. I think this is a 30 feet one, 30, 40 feet. This allows me to go from my TV all the way into my room, no problems. Now, what do you need to worry about when you have a long cable? Now, when you have a really long cable, make sure it's got fiber optic in it. If it doesn't have fiber in it, this will not work. You'll have so many latency, lag. It won't technically go to 4K, it'll go to 60 Hertz, it'll have cut in, cut outs, all this kind of stuff. Go out and buy yourself a decent HDMI cable. The best way to tell that I know of is if the cable's end is blue. So you'll see in the inside it's blue instead of the regular black. Okay, so and the last thing you'll need is a mouse pad so you can drape it over the top of the side of your couch, or you can get one of those like old grandma things. And a kitty cat. So yeah, this is all the accessories you need. The beer is obviously not an optional thing. You need this thing to make this all work. The beer makes it all work well together. So yeah, so why don't I go ahead and show you how this all is looking once it's all set up nice and well on a couch. Okay, so we're just back at the computer here. So we've gone ahead and run the HDMI cable and the USB cable that we'll need to use over at that TV end. Now, what I recommend you guys to do is go ahead and disconnect your screens and take out your speakers, as that can cause some problems when you're over at another device. So we're going to go ahead and plug in HDMI cable and the USB into the back. And now let's go ahead and go to the TV, and I'll show you a couple of settings that you want to do to make this more enjoyable. Okay, so we've made it to the couch finally. So I've got my laptop here, got my controller, got my keyboard and my mouse pad. There's one thing I'm missing. Beer! Isn't it great when it magically appears? That's that classic 4-inch taste. Alright, so pop the beer to the side. So what I'm going to show you guys here, I've got it all plugged in. I've got a sound bar, I've got my TV. How do we make sure that the sound bar is set up correctly? I've got Adobe Atmos on this sound bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing over to the TV. I'll show you a couple of things that you'll need. So you can make sure audio, HDR, and obviously Steam Big Picture Mode is what you want to use when you're using a big TV like this. Okay, so I've switched over to the desktop here so I can show you a couple of things that you'll need. So we're going to go here to the Microsoft Store or the Windows Store, and we need to go ahead and grab ourselves a copy of either Adobe Access or DTS surround unbound, depending on what your soundbar may support. If you don't have a soundbar, you can just obviously use your TV speakers, but I do have an Adobe surround sound soundbar. So that's all set up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to Steam, and what we will want to use for Steam is big picture mode. You can use your mouse and keyboard, but I recommend using big picture mode if you're going to be using an Xbox controller. It just makes things a little bit easier to jump in and out of games or whatever you may be doing. So just press the little big old big picture mode up in the top right hand corner. That leads to the little TV icon. We'll let that load up, and there we go. So we're going to test Red Dead Redemption. Tap Red Dead Redemption with our controller. We'll let that load, and I'll show you guys how that looks. And just like that, you've got Red Dead Redemption 2 up on your big screen, way better than your Xbox or PS5 can do. Running it at 76 FPS, sound everywhere, beverage in your hand, nice and relaxed on a nice couch. Laptop over here, so if I want to pull up game facts, I can. Anyway, this has been me, Mr. Dan1268. You guys can subscribe and like. I want to play some Red Dead.